Am I really that much? And breaking these niggas down like a demo. You don't really do throw you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, I haven't said that in a long time. Redo. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're here with another video, and in today's video we're gonna be I'm using my pop-off method here. So I did put 2 layers of clear gel top coat on my nails, cured in between each layer for 60 seconds. And now I'm gluing on my 3XL tapered square. I got these from Amazon. Tapered square, 3XL tapered square, and I am using my Bondini glue from Amazon. I do recommend this glue. This is a great glue. It comes in a bottle with like a twisty cap and a little brush, so it doesn't like, I don't know, it doesn't dry out like the, I feel like the other ones get goopy. If you get the ones in those little plastic containers that are all white, you can't see the glue inside. Those get like weird and goopy. This does not. I really love this. So that was me picking Eileen's nose on live. But it gets really, they get really goopy. This one doesn't. I really enjoy this glue, so I do recommend it. A lot of people use this for their gems and things like that. You could use it for that as well, so that's cool. It's a multitasker. It's a multitasker. All right, right here we're just gonna go in. This is a beautiful set I did on a live stream. This was a recreation of some Louis Vuitton nails I saw originally. Well, we'll get to that later. But anyway, I'm gonna go in with a bunch of different colored acrylics. Every time I've ever done this here design, it never came out looking good, and that's always because I always added a green in there. I think when you add greens into some colors, it muddies them up. So this was the first time I actually recreated a set like this, and it actually came out really pretty looking. Because like I said, sometimes it doesn't, like I've added the bright greens in with some of like colors like this, and it muddied them up. So these came out extra pretty. So right here, I'm just tapping, you know, colored acrylics. It is winter time, so sometimes they dry a little bit slower. And I was having a little bit of pigment issues. Like I was seeing like little white dots. I haven't used some of these in a while, so I probably just needed to mix them a little bit more. When acrylic sits, y'all, and you don't use it for a while, pigment will separate. So you want to make sure you get in there and really mix it up good. And like this, you see, if you look closely, you can see how the pigment's like separating from like the clear acrylic they use in this. And it's not really giving like a true pigmented color. That's because I probably didn't mix it good enough. And yeah, so mix your acrylics. I always mix my acrylics no matter what, because like I said, they do sit sometimes. Like some of these colors I haven't used in like a year, so they will do that. They do kind of get a little funky, especially clears. Yeah. So right now, I'm also using my 14 Kier Sky brush. I love this brush. It's a beautiful brush. It's thick. I like a thick, nice brush, you know, that has some oomph to it. Have you ever gotten like a skinny brush, like the hairs are long and it's just not full and thick, so when you go to like press on anything, it's just the brush kind of just like bends in half? Yeah, we don't want that. But all these colors were beautiful. They came out great. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Story time, y'all. So I know the last live I did not live, the last video I did was like a month ago. I'm so sorry, guys. I've been gone for about a month. I haven't done a video. I'm really trying to get in a headspace where I can really have time to sit down and do videos. A lot in my life is changing right now. As y'all know, my mom has come to live with me. My uncle passed away. So we're just dealing with that right now. And right now I'm at war with my landlord. So update on the landlord situation. You're gonna see flooding of the cuticles, okay, up in this section right here. I'm gonna need you to like mind your business, okay? It happens sometimes, okay? It happens, especially when it's cold out. And also, if you're gonna do nails like these, y'all, I would suggest doing them from the cuticle down, because when you do it like from the bottom up, what happens is when you get to the top and you're trying to fill in that space, you can't swipe because you don't want that color to go into all the other colors below it. So you kind of got to like tap it around and I couldn't swipe it. I just had to like plop it on there and just like tap it around and hope to God it didn't flood, which it flooded, and that's okay. This was a practice nail. My thumb is always a practice nail because if I don't like the design, I could just take that little thummy McThummer nail off and put another nail on, and we can, go with another set. I always have a backup set ready, especially for designs like this where I've done them before and I've completely destroyed them. So, yeah, so that's what we're doing here. But yeah, I suggest do not do it from the bottom up. That's a lesson I learned. This is the last time you'll see me do that. The other ones I do from top to bottom. So you'll see that coming up. Yeah, and just enjoy the little application. I'll come back with the story time for you guys. I got a lot to tell you. It's been a month, so yeah, enjoy the little bit of application, and I'll be back. All right, all right, all right, all right. I am back. Story time. Sorry, y'all. My mom came in. I don't know if you heard that little squeaky squeak in the background, but that was my mom's. And yeah, so she came inside to, stop and talk to her for a little bit. Plus, let y'all, that thumb took forever, bro. That thumb took hella long. I was scrolling along to give y'all some time to watch some application, and that shit took hella long. I'm like, all right. Anyway, y'all, story time. So, last week, or last video, not last week, about a month ago, I told you all about, my landlord. They were in North Carolina. My mom came for Christmas. We're going to do a little synopsis, okay? My mom came for Christmas. She was here a week and a half, and I had my landlord hitting me up about when her and her dog were going to leave. Blah, blah, blah. So when the landlord came back, I sat down with them, had a meeting. They told me that they would sit down and, talk about it or whatever. I told them my mom is not leaving. She's with me full time. If I have to move, I will move. If there's a way we can compromise or whatever, that would be great. So anyway, after a week, they wanted to sit down and have another talk. So I said, all right, I will come sit down, have another talk with you. We sat down, had another talk. They wanted me to change my lease to a month to month. I refuse to do that because I am a single mother. I have children, and I will not be on a month to month lease with having children. I need some sort of protection behind my housing. They were like, okay, so we're gonna have to add your mom to the lease. Now, before I had this meeting, my little brother was making me aware of my rights in New York State, my rights for tenancy in New York State, and there was a lot of things that they were doing that were not correct. First of all, it's against the law to up somebody's rent for a household member, especially your mother, who's, by the way, my mother's disabled, and her dog, who I told them was a support dog. The dog has a doctor's note. She's a support dog. And you can't discriminate. In the state of New York, you cannot discriminate on disability, service animals. You just can't. It's not a thing. So anyway, I was made very clear of my rights, and I told my brother. So when I went into this meeting with them, I was aware of a lot of my rights at this point, because I was pretty ignorant to the rights before my brother told me all my rights. And I was always scared and always, ready to sign shit to appease people. And, because when you're a single mom, you don't want to have to go through evictions and things like that if you don't comply or sign a new lease. And, you have to sign a new lease. So I wanted to make sure I knew the laws. So once I became aware of the laws and I wasn't ignorant to them no more, I went into this little first meeting semi-educated on the stuff. So they were telling me that they came up with a compromise, and that since I'm family, they were going to give me the family discount, and they were trying to add about $300 more on to my rent just for my mom being here. Mind you, I moved in here. My brother was here with me when I moved in, and my son's father. So that was like 2 extra people than I have just my mom. And so they never upped my rent for that. So that was like kind of weird that they would up my rent that much just for my mom. And then the dog, which they said caused wear and tear, and then they wanted me to give them like a $350 non-refundable, by the way, deposit for the dog. So on top of my rent going up $300, they wanted me to give them a non-refundable deposit for the dog, and they wanted me to sign this new lease. Okay? Now, I told them that I would look over the lease. There's some things that I just wanted to go over with my brother, and I had till March, so I wanted to, go over it. So anyway, so I find out that if you're a tenant 2 or more years in an apartment, well, it goes by how long you've been at an apartment. So like if you've been at an apartment 6 months, they have to give you 30 days notice. If you've been at an apartment a year, they have to give you 60 days notice. If you've been in an apartment 2 or more years, they have to give you 90-day notice before ever changing a lease or upping your rent. Also, it's against the law in New York State to change somebody's lease in the middle of their lease. Also, it's against New York State law to charge somebody for a service dog. Also, it's against the law to try to change somebody. You don't have to add a family member to your lease. Now, when it comes to this stuff, the law, that's how they've always gone. Well, I got to go by the law. So, I sat down and I said, talked to my brother, and I'm like, listen, I don't know how to approach these people. Like, when I try to talk to them, they kind of ride over me and, like, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, do you want me to talk to them? And I'm like, yeah, at least be there with me, to help me talk to them, because they don't really listen to me when I'm talking. Like, everything is always, if I don't agree with them, it's always, like, duress or it's combative, or, they feel attacked or whatever. So I told my landlord that I would like to sit down and have because I agreed to this whole thing when we were doing the leasing. I was like, okay, that seems like a fair compromise. I'll pay the extra money for my mom, because at that point I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I only know a little bit that they're doing wrong, but how do you go against the landlord? You know what I'm saying? My lease is up in August, and then they're just not going to sign a lease, which, by the way, New York law has laws on that too, where they can't, I forgot what it's called, my brother said it, but they have to give you notice that they're not signing a new lease with you. They can't just not sign a new lease with you. They have to give you like 90 days notice. Anyway, so I hit my landlord at first. Before I talked to my brother about it, I hit my landlord up and I said, hey, when I found out I had the 90 days, because Rachel was also telling me, no, this is ridiculous. Don't sign that. It's against the law. Like, And I'm like, and she was telling me like some stuff as well. So I looked it up, and in New York State, they have to give you 90 days notice. So I was like, hey, and they wanted me to pay this right on March 1st. So the meeting was on like February 18th, and my new rent for March was coming up. So they wanted me to pay all of this March 1st. They weren't giving me 2 weeks. They weren't giving me 30 days at all. Not even 30. I by law deserved 90 days because of how long I've been a tenant with them, which is about 7 years now. So, and rent always paid on time, never behind in rent, never late in rent. So, I've been a really good tenant with them. And so so I said to them, I said, well, technically by law, I have 90 days to start this new amount of money. You can't just spring this on me and I have to start paying it in 2 weeks. That's not law. Law is I get 90 days. And I'm only telling y'all to give me 30. Can I pay this? Can I start paying this April 1st? Because this is like very short notice. And they weren't even trying to give me, well, then they said, well, this is the 30 days, blah, 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 since the time in January. I was like, well, my mom wasn't living with me in January. She was just a visitor at that point. I didn't know she was going to stay here. She was just a visitor at that point, and you were hawking me down about her being here and when she was going to leave. So then, anyway, so then they agreed to give me till April 1st. So then I showed my brother, and he's like, oh, fuck no. He's like, I'm coming to talk to him. Tell Ev I want to talk to him before they leave for North Carolina. And I'm like, all right, I'll try to set something up. So I tried to set something up with both of them, and she wouldn't even have nothing to do with it. So he decided that he would sit down with us. She didn't want to sit down with us, and she didn't sit down with us. So now I'm talking to somebody and communicating with somebody who's not even really my landlord. He's my old landlord, but he's not my landlord here. She's my landlord here, not him. And this is who I have to communicate with. She's too coward to come communicate. So anyway, so last Friday we have this big sit down, and it was a recorded sit down. And, my brother had all his eggs in a basket, all his freaking pickles pickled. And, he ate my landlord up. And my landlord in this conversation acknowledges New York state law, acknowledges what he's doing is against New York state law. He acknowledges that he does not care. This is a blue state, so the laws will always be different in the eyes of landlord tenancy. Pretty much blue states let tenants get away with too much, and we shouldn't have these tenant laws and blah, blah, blah. He acknowledges that he knows my mom's dog is a service dog and that I told him prior to, and he's still trying to charge me for the service dog, and he's still trying to charge me for my disabled mother, all of which is very against the law, very suable, very illegal. And the deep water that these people have now gotten themselves into is crazy. Also, so it's this whole maybe 45-minute thing, but the way my brother ate this guy up was ridiculous. See, my brother is a very smart, articulate person, okay? And he knows a lot about things that I just don't understand. He's one of those people that just knows a lot about everything, and it's always correct information. And this guy had nothing to say to him. He made him sound so stupid that it was like he was getting very offensive about it. And every time he was my brother was very soft-spoken with him, just telling him this is the law. It doesn't matter what you or I think, this is law. And this is baked into the law so people don't get abused by landlords like this here, because it's an embarrassment. Like, how are you going to try? And it's all about money. It's not about anything else. It's not about wear and tear. The only thing, this is what he said. Oh, well, it's extra wear and tear on the apartment to have the dog. That's more people going up and down the stairs and opening the door. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? So pretty much he wants us to pay. Pretty much what he said is we should be paid for our inconvenience. And my brother's like, what inconvenience? My mother has a dog who's her emotional support animal, who has a doctor's note which is protected by New York state law, and my mother's disabled, and she has to come live with her daughter because she can't financially support herself anymore, alone. So what are you saying here? So I told him straight up, I'm not signing this lease. And he said, and my brother was like, what happens if we don't sign this lease? And he goes, well, then we can't move forward. And he's like, and he literally, they were trying to rush me into signing this lease so they can get over on me for an extra so much more a month. They knew what they were doing was against the law and wrong, and they still tried to do it. So I told her I will not be signing a new lease. I will be paying my rent as is every month. I'm not going to be paying $300 more. I'm not going to be putting a non-refundable deposit fee, because let me tell you something about this apartment. This apartment is old. Everything in it's old. The counters are old. The cabinets are old. There's nothing updated in this apartment. My bathtub's old. Everything's old. Nothing is updated in this apartment. Okay? I don't even have ventilation for my stove. If you fry something in my kitchen, you got to degrease the kitchen for 20 days because it's like ridiculous. I have no windows in my, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're no. So yeah, that's where we're at now. I'm not signing a new lease. I'll be out of here by August. And I'm looking for, a new home, either to rent or to buy. Cause I'm in the middle of also selling my mother's house. So, but I'm so glad that I have my brother and I have somebody to advocate for me. And help me out with these things, because if I didn't, I would just be like every other single mom, scared, baited into signing a lease because they don't want to be evicted. When I agreed to that lease, they were all shithole, hey, happy, like, oh yeah, everything was all right. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, my mom's dog is old. She's an old girl. She goes out to pee and literally comes back up and lays on the couch. All day. That's what she does. She lays on the couch. She'll get up to eat. She'll go out, pee. She lays on the couch. There's no wear and tear with her. They're bugging. And like I said, when I first moved in here, I had 2 extra people with me. So you know what I'm saying? Where was the increase? No. I'm going to get a way better place for I'm going to get some bang for my buck, because this ain't it. The amount that I'd be paying here now, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. And I'm not going to be paying that. Not to these fucking scumbags. Hell no. But anyway, yeah. So we're almost done here with this part. But yeah, anybody have any issues with their landlords? I feel like this happens a lot with landlords. Like, they try to get over, and you would think somebody who has a good tenant for 6 years, 7 years. Oh, and then hold on. And then after the fact that I told them no, and I told them this is my mom's emotional support dog, I went shopping with my brother, and my mom texts me and goes, she's on the back porch making fun of me. And I'm like, what do you mean she's on the back porch making fun of you? And she goes, she's on the back porch laughing at me talking about, oh, yeah, Frenchie, you're my service dog too. At least I clean up my dog shit. Like, who? So I came back and I was just like, you know what? I'm about to really turn up on this bitch, because who the fuck? First of all, I messaged her. I said, listen, you could talk all the fucking shit you want about me. Okay? Do it in the privacy of your own fucking home. Okay? And don't do it where my mother can hear you talking about her. So no, I got no response to that. 2 days later, they asked me, where's the rent going to be? Well, I don't know where the rent is right now, because I'll tell you why I don't know where the rent is right now. They went down to North Carolina a couple days ago. I got in the shower the night before last, and I didn't even get to scrubbing my hair before my fucking shower turned cold. Now, I've been here 6 years, and my water, I've never been in a place where the water stayed hot for like an hour. My shit doesn't get cold. 4 people in a row could take a shower in my shit, and it does not get cold. Okay? I remember when my brother was living here, and something had happened. One of the gauges broke on the hot water heater or whatever, and it made the hot water like scalding hot. So when my brother went to turn on the hot water to wash dishes, he fucking burnt his whole arm off because it was just scalding hot water coming out. There was no regulation on it. They had that fixed. The guy, after he fixed it, the landlord's brother, I think, fixed it or whatever. He asked me if my water was, if the heat was good, if it was warm enough. If it wasn't, he could regulate the temperature on my water. He can make the hot a little hotter, you know what I'm saying, and last longer or whatever. I remember that. I think after I didn't agree to sign the lease, I think these motherfuckers went in the basement and fucked with the regulation, like the thing on my hot water, however it's done down there. I don't know if it's a hot water tank or whatever. We run off gas over here, gas and electric. So I don't know if it's, mostly my appliances are all gas. So I don't know if it's a gas I don't know what it is. Hot water heater, a boiler, whatever. But I think what happened was she was being petty and went down there and turned my hot water off to nothing, because my water is in my rent. It's built in New York. Your water is built into your rent. Most people who live in the South, that's not a thing because it's a hot climate, so they want you to pay for your own shit. But in New York, we don't live in a hot climate. Only 3 months out of the year it's hot here. Every other month is freezing. So we don't have to pay for water. It's in your rent. So anyway, that's what I think. I think that's what they did. So I'm waiting to take another shower to see, because I was like, how is this cold? Nobody took a shower all day. It's not even cold outside to where, okay, maybe it's a little cold. It just needs to heat up. No, I had hot water for 10 whole minutes. And I knew something was wrong because I kept having to turn the cold down. You know how you turn the hot on and you turn a little bit of cold on to make it warm, I kept having to turn the cold down because it kept getting real, cold. And I'm like, oh, shit. And then I thought to myself, oh, I remember these motherfuckers can control that in the basement. Because that guy deadass said, tell me if your water's hot enough. I can turn the water up hotter if you need it hotter. And I went and I felt it and I was like, no, it's perfect. So now they do shit just to be petty. Just like when the snowstorm hit, there in North Carolina, there's a whole lot of parking in the back, which when I first moved here, was given a parking spot. Okay. I was given a parking spot in the back that was designated my parking spot because I am also a tenant here. Okay, and they encroached on us so much. They were parking closer and closer to our car. Our car was getting egged back there. So we moved it to the front and stopped parking back there. So the night of the snowstorm, I had my brother park his car back there, because what happens is in the city, when we get snowstorms, they want you out of that spot. Like the next morning, you got to get up, boom, boom, and shovel your shit out. And I know my brother, he was going through rough times at that moment, and he wasn't shoveling his shit out. And I definitely wasn't shoveling his shit out. So I'm like, let me park it in the lot. There's nobody parked back there. Let me park it in the lot, and nobody will have to shovel it out right away, And then when I was talking to her about that, she's like, yeah, the whole lot thing, I had somebody come plow the lot, and he had to shovel that out himself because your car was there. I said, so why didn't anybody tell me the lot was getting plowed out so we can move the car so it could get plowed out? Why didn't anybody just say that? She's like, I don't feel like I have to tell you everything. You don't feel like you have to tell your tenant that has a car? Because I told her, I said, I was under the impression I had a parking spot back there. She goes, yeah, your parking spot. I said, my guests also would be under my parking spot. She's like, I just don't feel like I have to, I'm sorry, I don't feel like I have to tell you everything. That's not telling me everything. That's not telling me your personal business, you drunken idiot. That's telling me that, hey, the back lot's getting plowed out. Make sure your car is not in the lot at this so-and-so time. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is. It's common decency. You don't feel like you have to tell me everything? I'm not asking your personal business. I don't give a shit whether you tell me or not, but that's what's going to happen if you don't tell me. You're going to be coming back to shovel out that side of the lot because I was I didn't know. I had no idea. And then your daughter parked there 24 hours blocking my truck in. So, I mean, she wasn't concerned about the snow people either. A whole lot, empty lot. I park my brother's car back there and it's a problem. Now people are parking in, blocking me in. It was just nuts. It was crazy. It was really crazy. The stuff I have to deal with here is crazy. And then her coming out on the back porch and talking like that to my mom is even crazier. I wish I was back here. I would have hit record. I'm hitting record every time now. Because I'm not playing with her. I'm going to court. Like, we're going to see each other in the courtroom. I guarantee that. I guarantee that. But my brother ate him alive. He's like, well, you don't have to sign any lease. I'm not forcing you to sign it. I said, yeah, I'm not signing that. I'll be out of here by August. By the end of August. Yeah, that's when I'll be out of here. Hasta la vista, baby. Hasta la vista. And it's time. Me and my family need a new place to live. I've been wanting, y'all know, if you've followed me on this channel and you've heard my story times or you've been in my lives, you know that I hate it here and I want to leave here and I never wanted to leave a place in my life. I've never lived next to a landlord before, but let me tell you something. I will never, in the history of landlordism, I will never rent next to a landlord ever again. Don't ever rent next to a landlord ever, people. It's not, they are just too much. Too much. They are so overbearing. It's ridiculous. I've been renting since I moved out when I was 18. I've never had this experience in my life. And that was back then when I was late on my rent and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't as, put together as I am now as an adult, in my early 20s. So, you expect to be treated with respect and common decency. And then at every sit down we have, she tells me how she's a cold-hearted bitch and she doesn't care about other people's feelings. And it's like, no, we get that. We know. We watch what you do to your own daughter. So we know what person you are. She leaves her 85-year-old, her mother's down there almost 100 years old. That lady spends every single day alone. She has an aide that comes in 3 times a week. She spends every day alone. She has Meals on Wheels. By the way, these two have lots of money. They have Meals on Wheels bring her 3 meals a day to her back door. I said tell my mom, I was like, isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? You couldn't catch me doing that to my mother. I would never prioritize a fucking state going to North Carolina over my mother. That shit is crazy. So, yeah, that old lady spends a lot of time down there alone. Nobody visits her. Nobody gives a shit about her. They're all waiting for her to just die. Yeah. I couldn't imagine how she feels. And then she's been starting to get worse. So, from like 2 months ago, last I know, and she was shitting on herself. And dirtying up the bathroom real bad when she went number 2. And the PCAs aren't cleaning that up. So who's going down there to clean that up? Nobody goes down there. That's craziness, right? So, she is a cold-hearted bitch. And, that's my part 2 of my landlord story. That's where we're at now. We're not signing new leases. We're not doing that. And I have been speaking to my lawyer, and yeah, I'm going to get this thing rocking because there's no way you thought you were going to disrespect me and my family. There's no way you thought you were going to do this and it was going to be okay. There's no way you acknowledge New York state law and the laws of disability, peoples with disability and their service dogs, and then in the same sentence say, we don't care. Say that's only because it's a blue state. People don't deserve that. What? Even on my lease, it says the only people allowed to occupy this tenancy is the tenant and immediate family, which means the only people that are allowed to be in this house without, stay for long periods of time is tenant and tenant's family. immediate family, which would be my mom, my brothers. That's immediate family. So even in your own leash, you're contradicting what, they're just so, oh my God, they're so dumb. But I was so happy my brother ate them alive. Right now we are clear capping these nails. Okay, you got to go over with the clear cap. Okay, you got to add some structure to these bad boys. This is one of my favorite parts, because it does change the design. At first, the lines kind of look harsh, but once you go over it with that clear color, it makes it look at it. And you see it kind of blurs out the lines. I love that. It does that with ombres too, by the way. When you do an ombre, it may look a little harsh until you put that clear cap on. Once you put that clear cap layer on, you're freaking good to go, okay? You're good to go. I'm going to let y'all watch this, and I will come back. We're not doing nail art. I was going to actually do nail art on these, but I wound up not doing it because it got a little late, okay? It got a little late. Yeah, definitely got late. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all watch the rest of our application. I did not put filing in this, y'all. I had some in there, but it was just making my video too long. My videos are already too long. I'm still debating on speeding like some of this up, so I don't like to speed it up too much, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, have a great day. Not have a great day. Sorry, I smoke. I will be back, y'all. I will be back. All right, stop it. Oh no, but for real, I'll be back. Enjoy the application, and I will see you when we start stickering away. All right, this is what we're looking like so far. We have now filed the nails, buffed the nails. And we're gonna go in with some nail charms. I was just showing people how big. I don't know. This nail is just big and floppy for no reason. But we're gonna go in with some nail design and bling. Yay! Don't mind my lighters or my vape. Ignore those. So I was going to originally paint the LV signs on, but this live was a little too long. So, I didn't have really sufficient time to really draw the LV designs on there. Yeah, because these took some time. So I'm going to go in with stickers I have that I haven't used in a long time. I'm going to go in with some of these airbrush looking butterflies. I do have an airbrush machine myself, and I could have done that. But I don't have any stencils. I have to get some stencils for it. I don't have like butterfly stencils or things like that. So these did well. I must say though, the other stickers that I do put on, so I got some of these pink LVs, and the LV design on that one right in the background right there. And then I have the one that you can't see. There's white LV, the white LV sign. So that's what we're going to just be sticking all these to our nails and making them look pretty. And then we're going to go in with some bling and put that on there. And who is that? Oh, hey, mommy.
Hello.
Everybody say hi to my mommy.
Hello, everybody.
And that is what we're going to do. And yeah, that's about it. Enjoy the rest of the video. I love you guys. I will see you guys for Freestyle Saturday. And yeah, I'll see y'all on the flip side. Oh, peace. We're gonna go see ooh. Tag the products. Hello. Hello. My son gave her Goofy. Hellos. Hello.
She's only looking at me, by the way.
Say hello. Yeah, because she thinks you're gonna take her for a walk. Hellos. Yeah, hellosies. Look at my nails. No, don't lick them. Say hello. Hey, you baby girl. No, where are you going? No, Lou. Oh, stretch. Look at the stretch. It's so cute.